Many travel bloggers will only show you the highlights of their trips, and I definitely don't want to do that this time. We are a family of 5 traveling through Malaysia for the summer, and today I want to show you one of those nothing days, those in-between days that are absolutely necessary when you're moving from place to place. So in this video, I'm going to tell you where we are, where we're going next. I'm also going to take you into the apartment that we're staying in for the next 2 nights. And also, I want to take this opportunity just to show you how many bags we're traveling with. Like I said, we are 5 people, so I want to show you what that looks like and some of the essential items that we're traveling with this time. All right, first of all, let's go check out our apartment. We are currently in Kuantan, in fact, 25 minutes from the Kuantan city center. And we are here because yesterday we left Tioman Island, and we picked this area because it's located 2 hours from the Mersing jetty, and we're pretty much halfway to our next destination. So when we leave tomorrow morning, we'll be driving again for a couple more hours and then taking another boat to Redang Island. And the reason why today is a bit of a nothing day, it has to do with the fact that yesterday was a travel day and so is tomorrow. So with 3 young children, we find that it's really good to plan to have a day where you're not having to go anywhere, you're not having to get up at a particular time, so everybody can get a bit of rest and a chance to basically wind down. And also, one of the main things that I needed to get done on this day was to get the washing done. So yeah, so even on holidays, even while you're traveling, you have those mundane tasks that need to be completed. All right, let's go into the apartment now. Something that I quickly wanted to ask you is, do you find this really frustrating when you're traveling as a family? We find that it's been quite common for us to only get 1 key. So essentially we need a hard key to get into the apartment, and then you need to be able to swipe the card to get into the lift to go to your floor. And in this particular building, you also needed to get out of it to go into the swimming pool area. So yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, or if it's just me. Now let's take a look around the apartment. So this is the first look at the place that we're staying at for 2 nights. Immediately as you walk in, you've got an area for your shoes. And onto the right hand side, we have a dining area with 4 chairs. We also have a full-size fridge, a water dispenser, which has been really handy. We don't like having to buy water and all the excess plastic that comes with it, so we appreciate it when they include these things in our accommodation. We also have a stove so we can cook some simple meals. And most importantly, we have the washing machine here. So this is the first thing that we did when we arrived yesterday. I chucked a load on and got that going. And I'm hoping to refresh all our towels and all our swimming gear before we leave. So make sure that you bring your washing powder. Now over to this side, we've got the living space. So we've got a comfortable couch, a coffee table, and a TV with Netflix, which has been a lot of fun because we don't have Netflix in China. And you'll notice here that we've got a couple of futon beds, so the boys have slept out here last night. I'm going to leave the view for last. Let's head out into the bedrooms. So we've got bedroom number 1 right here. So this has a double bed with some storage. Now we've got the first bathroom with a shower. It's quite spacious, I think. And now we're heading into the master bedroom. So we've got another double bed, plenty of storage. We've got a cabinet right here. And also we have more storage on this side. I like that I was able to put up the suitcase and easily get everything organized. And this is the second bathroom. So we've got another spacious shower. And there you go, the toilet there. So yeah, very spacious, I'll say, for 2 nights for a family of 5, so no complaints there. This is at the Timor Bay Seafront Residences, and we paid 400 Malaysian ringgit per night. Now let's take a look at the view. So right out here, we have a balcony. Whoop. And check this out. I love that we've got an outdoor seating area. I mean, obviously there's all these outdoor spaces downstairs, which is where I started off the video. So you don't have to be up here at all. But this is absolutely gorgeous. So we essentially have this view from every bedroom, and down there we got the massive swimming pool. David is there with the kids. There's also a playground there to the left. And there are so many facilities available at this property. It's really great. All sorts of sports. There's a gym, a sauna, but most importantly, you have the beach. We did go for a walk earlier today, and the sand is really fine and beautiful. The tide is out right now, so that's why it looks a little bit brown. But yeah, it's a really nice beach. Now, let me take you downstairs for a moment. I want to show you what else we have access to in this area. I'm just walking out now, and I have to tell you, this area seems to be very busy with local tourists. As I mentioned, the beach is absolutely wonderful, so I understand why. And I want to show you just what the immediate area looks like. So it's just downstairs. We've got a variety of shops. So we've got a supermarket here. So I guess you would call this just kind of like a mini mart. It does have most things that you would need. So it seems to be quite comprehensive. We also have a variety of shops. There's a 7-Eleven, there's a Subway, there's lots of local restaurants and cafes as well. And if we look out to the road, it is a pretty busy place. So it seems like people drive through this area quite a lot. There's also many restaurants across the road as well. Also, I just wanted to mention that the next building over is the Swiss Garden Residences, and that also seems very popular right now. They do have a swimming pool area with many slides, and directly underneath there are a lot more cafes and restaurants. So yeah, I would recommend this location as a stop by. And I also find that all the prices in the restaurants and even the mini marts seem to be really affordable. So I guess not what you would expect. All right, lastly, let's head back upstairs, and I'm going to show you some of our travel essentials that we travel with this time. As you can see, it is check-in time right now, so it's gotten really busy. There are a ton of cars driving in, and yeah, people just arriving for the weekend. On this trip through Malaysia, we are making a lot of stops along the way, so we really wanted to simplify the way that we traveled this year. Last year we stayed in Thailand, and I basically packed a lot of things because we stayed in one location, but this time it was just going to be that much easier if each person could carry the majority of their things. So I'm going to show you exactly what we ended up with, and I have to admit, it's really worked a treat. It's made it really easy to move between places. So let me show you right now. So these are the kids' bags right here. The one on the left is Javi's and the one on the right is Joaquin's. And I really love these bags because they're able to fit a lot in them. So essentially the boys brought all their clothing items and entertainment items in their own backpacks, including their devices. And I like them because they can open them from the top and easily get into everything that they need. And they were also able to carry their own shoes or slippers as well in the bottom of the bag. And this one is Joaquin's. And this one's Eva's here. I was hoping that she was also going to go for one of the other ones, but she wanted a pink bag, so this is what she has. Definitely not nearly as comfortable and not as easily to organize all her things. So she mainly has all her entertainment in here. A lot of her clothing items I've moved onto the suitcase because I found that it was just a little bit too heavy for her to carry. Now moving on to David's. David brought this roller backpack, and this has been really useful because we were able to carry this one on. So he's got all of his toiletries, his clothes, and a bunch of other technological things that he needed, cables and so forth, basically all the things that you can see there at the end. We also brought a suitcase, and this was necessary just to bring all those additional bits and pieces that didn't fit anywhere else, including the snorkel gear that we decided to invest in this year. So we're going to be snorkeling in a lot of different locations, and by the time you add up all the rentals, it's worth it just to have your own, and we thought we could just bring the one suitcase. And lastly, we've got my backpack over here as well. David has one also, the same. And again, you know, you could open it like this, so it makes it really easy to organize all your things. And I essentially fitted all of my clothes, my toiletries, my entertainment all in one bag as well. And it's super comfy to wear. Also, I've got the packing cubes. I ended up only using 3 packing cubes. These are the Bagsmart packing cubes, and they really do make a difference. So essentially all the clothes that I'm wearing on this holiday, they fit inside my bag. So yeah, that's 1, 2, and 3. Now let's talk about some of the items that I brought on this trip that I think are essential. So number one is a rope for hanging your laundry. Now what sets this one apart is that it's got these little grooves in the middle where you can essentially feed your clothing through. You're essentially pegging it onto the rope. And the reason being is that we usually find that most places don't have enough space for us to hang any wet items, our towels, our swimming gear. So we've basically been using this the whole trip so far. And also we like that it's got these little hooks at the end, so essentially we can clip them into anywhere. So you just tie it like so, and yeah, it's basically set up. Next, this one is going to sound a little bit funny, but we've got a roll of plastic bags. If you end up with any wet items, particularly because we are moving a lot on this trip, it means that we might be traveling with, wet swimming items, towels, and, dirty clothing as well. So you can use that for all of those things. And also, if you buy any items, any food items that you don't want to spill, again, these come in really handy. The next item is our French press. And yes, this is a little bit heavy, but we use it on every single trip. We like it because it's made of metal and it also keeps your coffee hotter for longer. Something that I don't like doing when we travel is having to figure out where I'm going to get a good cup of coffee. I don't like getting up and having to work that out, so I can wake up, make my cup of coffee and start the day, which brings me to my next item, and that is coffee. Particularly when traveling in Malaysia, I don't want to find coffee in supermarkets and go in the hunt for something that I like or something that will work with the French press. So yes, we did bring enough coffee probably to last us a few weeks. The next item is a extension power socket, and that's this one right here. If you are not a family of 5, you probably won't need this, especially if you don't have that many items to charge. But again, something that we find when we travel is that most places, particularly if we stay in a hotel room, it doesn't have enough switches for us to be able to plug all our equipment, all our gear for vlogging, for making videos, all the kids' iPads, our phones, and so on and so forth. So we always bring this, of course, with a travel adapter. And then that way we can just connect everything together. And this one in particular also has a USB connection as well, which I can use to charge my Kindle. Next, I'm going to talk about some of the entertainment items that are a must for us. Number one, we've got a frisbee for playing down at the beach or at the park. If you travel to resorts, of course, you're not going to need that because you're going to have a lot of the activities included in your accommodation. But if you travel to apartments or simple hotels, they won't have these items. So this way we can make sure that we have stuff to play with. We also bring playing cards. So here we've got Skippo, we've got Uno, we've got Monopoly Deal. And again, we bring this out whenever we go out to eat. And it just helps, have fun and keep the kids entertained, particularly while we're waiting for food. The next entertainment item is the Kindle. Both me and Joaquin have one, and this is really helpful because you can put tons of different books and you don't have to physically bring a book with you. I do like to read sometimes 2 or 3 books at a time depending on the topic. Sometimes you like to read something that's a little bit lighter. So I like to have options, and this allows me to travel with less. Next, we've got sun protection items. These are an absolute must, and of course you can pick up a lot of these items when you arrive at your destination. We do find China so affordable for these items, so I just prefer to buy everything that we need before we travel. So we've got hats for everybody. We also have rash vests for every member of the family as well, particularly if you're going to be out in the sun, between 11 and 3 o'clock. You want to make sure that the kids are not getting burnt when you're having a beach holiday or a pool holiday. And also, this particular time around, I looked for sunscreen that was reef safe because we are going to be snorkeling and spending a lot of time in the ocean. So I bought the Sapper brand from Australia. Now moving on to the last couple of items, we've got umbrellas, and these ones, I know they sound like a funny purchase. I think we paid about a couple of dollars for them. They're very tiny, very lightweight, and we've already used them a lot. One, because it seems to rain basically most days here in Malaysia, so it's nice to have them handy. And we also use them down at the beach just to protect our items from the sun. So that was a great purchase. They weigh nothing, and they're very small, very compact. And lastly, I recommend bringing a collection of elastic bands, hair bands, or clips that you can use to close food items. Or for example, this is our washing powder, so we don't want that to spill. So we can quite easily close that, secure it, and we're ready to go. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thank you so much for being there. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you on the next one.